Good morning, fanatics, and welcome to the Flow with the Markets Tuesdays. Today is the 24th of May, Tuesday, and it's 10 minutes past 8, which is Frankfurt Open. So, well, let's flow with the markets. Let's see how Monday opened, and let's see how we can adapt. Well, pretty much we're having a big influx of momentum even on Monday. And as I told you on the weekly outlook, the market has changed its rhythm a little bit. And currently we have also the ECB and other central banks becoming a little bit more hawkish, which means a bit more bullish, also hiking the rates, starting to take care of the economy. And we can immediately see this reflecting on price because we had this massive expansion on the dollar simply because, with their aggressive rate hikes and all of that stuff. But right now what we can see is the pullback, right? Or we can even call it a reversal, but I don't think it's going to be a full-blown reversal. But of course, right now, what we have is a bearish market. So again, what the bias will be? Well, bearish, right? Because again, we always want to ask ourselves, what is the current momentum and where do we want for price to go potentially? Well, it's usually with the trend, right? The trend is your best friend. So let's try to keep it simple. Of course, very important to check out your economic calendar. All right. So, there is, what did I do right there? There are some very important news. So pretty much today we have a lot of Euro news right now, starting from 9 o'clock, which is London Open, PMI right there. So Germany, France, Eurozone. Then we have a couple of new home sales right there, PMI as well for the US. And something that wasn't here yesterday is a speech from Powell and a speech from Lagarde. Right, so that is quite heavy right there, which is followed up on Wednesday, FOMC minutes. Again, later today, quite a few NZD news. For the NZD traders, be aware of those. Some Euro right there. And again, speech from Lagarde, speech from Panetta, and then Lane as well. So full series of speeches right there from the ECB, and also some important USD news right there. All right, so you can see quite a few news. Then we have May 26th. I should trigger the whole week. May 26th, we have some holidays, right? So holidays right there, but US session could be nice because we have GDP, initial jobless claims, and pending home sales. So pretty important news releases. And on Friday, we actually do not have NFP this Friday, which sucks. I'm confusing because I was just speaking to my team if the next week is actually going to be NFP, because we kind of have this week and then half of the other one to end the month. Retail sales for the US right there on Friday. So you can see we have plenty of news this week, a lot of stuff to look at. So let's see what we can do, especially today. So the DXY, I was expecting the shorts. I had two outcomes right there. I was looking for a deeper pullback, or of course a continuation, little pullback, and then a push lower. Of course, target was this low right there, and it got fulfilled in a very strong manner, right? There was a long to be taken on EU, but it was kind of outside of the rules. And again, as I told you, the market shifted a little bit. So it kind of started just tapping into zones and just going, right? No confirmation, just tap and go, right? So it is the time when you have to adapt a little bit maybe, right? Currently, this one is traveling towards the 50% still. I still do expect some more downside. There was a level right there that we can potentially look to see price come in, but yeah, right now the biggest question is, are we gonna have a deeper pullback? So we have a brand new range. This one, again, you can see it wasn't fulfilled 50%, but there was something right there on the 50-minute that got tapped. So this is where we reacted from, and then a massive expansion to the downside. Okay, so a lot of you can think, oh, massive bearishness, we can be creating the weekly low, right? So this looks like a manipulation. I am personally not a big fan of this theory because I just see nice confirmed momentum lower, right? Bearish dollar. So what I'm going to be focusing on is to potentially take shorts, right? We have a massive daily candle right there. So today I imagine to have maybe another bearish day, right? But first I would love to see a slightly bigger pullback. But of course, sometimes just one 4-hourly candle like this is enough, right? And what we can see right now on the hourly, so we have, of course, this level right there. That is pretty nicely into 50%. But currently the market is responding from this guy right there. And if we just drop to the 50-minute, we can see the market turned a little bit bullish, grabbed these flat highs, tapped inside. And then because I do my analysis for the community as well earlier, we had this higher low right there holding. So I said, well, if the market actually flips through right there, we can also start seeing some shorts kick in, right? So yes, right now we pretty much have this, so we can start looking for lower highs like that, right? If you just go to the 5-minute, maybe right now we have a beautiful lower low. So can we start looking for shorts right now? I do think so. I do think it's definitely possible to be looking for shorts. It's not kind of the best setup because there is not much of a manipulation. This is pretty much the Asian high. Right there, you can see pretty much the Asian high. So can we go below the Asian low at least to tap into these guys right there? Maybe to initiate the reversal, but I don't think so. I pretty much think we might just reverse lower. This one just got painted right there. But yes, so I'm gonna be calling shorts for right now. But of course, I also expect a bigger pullback. Okay, because again, is just 1 4-hourly candle of a pullback enough to make a new lower low? Well, could be, right? We can just push right now during the session, break the low, and then from there it's a completely different story, right? Because you can either just continue trending it lower like on the 1 minute, or you can then wait for another pullback and drop. But knowing what the market does nowadays, it doesn't pull back, right? So if you get a pullback like this, which looks good, and then of course the 50-minute aligns with your overall bias, then I would say go for it, right? Follow the flow. Okay, so that is the Dixie. And if we have a look at EU also quite sad. I didn't participate in this long trade, but it is what it is. Yeah, this was pretty much my thumbnail. Yeah, so tapped 50%, right? Precisely. Started shifting. So what I expected is for the market to give me a little bit of a pullback, maybe on London Open or something like this, but no. The market actually started somewhere right there, pushed, pulled back, push again. So pretty much the level to trade from was here. Right, so the market just tapped and went. Right, it didn't provide much of a confirmation. So if you went in aggressively right there, well, not aggressively, just like a break and retest, right, without looking for a lower time frame confirmation, maybe have like a bigger stop loss, which is not even big, right? 6 pips is beautiful. And then yeah, you go for the highs. So that one was the trade of the yesterday. Unfortunately, missed this one. So yes, right now we are traveling again towards 50%, towards some supply areas on the left. We made this beautiful high. We have a new range as well. So right now the question is, are we gonna pull back lower? Right, that's the question. So if you drop to the hourly, we see a very recent higher low right there on the hourly time frame. So this is my first potential zone to look for longs, and this is the next one. And if you drop to the 50-minute, you also have this mini zone right there. That could be a potential area of value. But yes, so right now it's kind of tricky. I kind of like a long setup right now because we have the Asian low right there. So if the Asian low gets spiked and for us to tap inside this zone right there, I do think this one can be a nice setup. The only thing is that this is not in like deep in the pullback. Right, but I still expect this probably to happen. Then just to quickly take out this high, maybe tap into this big supply, and then from there we have to evaluate and see, okay, so are we gonna start initiating a bigger pullback, or are we gonna reverse, or are we just gonna continue? Right, so today I was also open for shorts. Right, we have this zone as well. So currently the 50-minute is kind of bearish if you look at it, but we're just starting to shift. We're just shifting, and I don't like that it's shifting from here because it didn't tap anything. So for me right now, to go long like this, I'm a little bit skeptical on this one, right? But we're gonna see what happens, okay? Because right now, if this one fully breaks right there, then this means we can create a pullback towards this little zone right there, and then to potentially take a long. But then it's so close to this zone right there, so I might doubt it, but we'll see. Okay, so this is my setup right now for EU. Of course, we can also be open for shorts, something like that. Right now, we can just spike into the highs, tap into this zone, respect it, and then go lower, right? So what I've spotted is that the past week, and also this one, it's all about adaptation. So you wake up in the morning, you kind of do your markups, and you see nothing, right? And you're like, well, I just have to flow, right? And of course, if you have your zones like this, then just set alerts, right? So set alert right there. Right, if the market taps, you go on the chart, set alert right there. If the market taps, you go on the chart, else you don't do anything, right? But this requires discipline, and I know many of you want to trade every single day, but this is not how it works, fortunately. So EJ, also, what I told you kind of is that the JPYs were a little bit tricky, and it depends again on what the euro will do and what the USD will do. And what we see is the reaction, right? But it started to turn a little bit bullish, although it was looking a little bit bearish, right? At the same time, and right now we have this impulse into the highs. Okay, so we still have this kind of range right there, which is also it was an inside bar on the weekly. Yeah, weekly candle starts bullish and just takes out the previous weekly high, right? So this one can say, okay, momentum is taken out. Can we expect a retracement lower? Well, it can also go long, right? It can also go north, depending on the USD yen. So we're gonna drop this level right there, and pretty much on the hourly we have this beautiful push, we have this pullback right now. So why would you go short in this bullish momentum, right? So if you drop to the hourly time frame, we still have the same zone right there that is not into 50%, but the M pairs do not tend to pull back towards 50%. I know this for a fact. And just tapping right now, and you can see we're starting to show a little bit of bullishness, but for me, the 15-minute has to shift first. Of course, you would like to see a break of this guy first. Maybe if you're conservative, you would like to see a break of this one as well. So a long setup can look something like this, right? And of course, if the market decides to drop even further, then that's nice because we have this big zone right there. And also we can look at this one, which pretty much starts where this big guy starts. So pretty much this one could be a nice longing area. But looking at how the euro is starting bullish right now, I would expect that this one to break, and then potentially, of course, what you can do is just jump into the higher lows. All right, so right now it breaks this structure. It can immediately give you a pullback right now. Then it can break this structure. It's going to give you another pullback, right? So it's all about getting in. And of course, it all depends whether it will provide. Because as I told you, from here, it can just rocket to there, right? Currently, those are the conditions that we trade in. But I would say Euro Yen bullish. Right now, we're going to also examine USD Yen. Aussie dollar also fulfilled the targets. And yeah, it just expanded again. It just opened and expanded. And right now, we're staying in this supply, which again makes me think, well, is this a supply to be taking shorts from, right? Currently, again, if you ask yourself, what is the market doing? Well, it's bullish, right? Yes, we're tapping into supply on the left. That's fine. But higher high, higher low, higher high. Right, so where is your higher low right now? It's right there. We have a brand new one. It's pretty big. We have a new range. So let's try to see what there is on the hourly time frame. You can minimize this one a little bit towards this last sell candles right there. Big push. Right now it's pulling back, and we are just tapping towards this guy, and it kind of just pinked the 50%. So is it possible for this one to reverse higher from here? It is. Right, but as we see on the majority of the pairs, they can either reverse up from current price, like I'm speaking about EJ, EU, AU, and probably the others are the same, or they can make another leg down towards a deeper discount and then to potentially go long, right? So what I would like to see is really a good 15-minute shift, which we have right there. So we have a lower low right here, then we have a higher high right there, right? So break of structure. We have a new zone on the 15-minute. So again, I do think this could be worth it to strike from here, right? Striking longs from there. If this one fails, well, then we look for a lower one, right? And of course, being open to the shorts, there are also possible. We have kind of this little guy that we're reacting from right now, but it like looked a push reaction to potentially continue higher, right? And yeah, well, I would say I'm bullish on the Aussie. There are, I think, a lot of news for the Aussie tomorrow, so watch out for those. But for now, I'm gonna call it bullish, right? The big question is, which we of course never know, this is why we just have to play our edge. If we get entries and if we get our setups, is the market gonna go up from here, right? Or is it gonna make another leg lower? So that's the question. But if we get right there, I am gonna potentially strike for longs, and then if it breaks, what I'm gonna do is adapt and take a short towards the zone. Right? That's what trading is all about. AUDJPY. So I'm kind of, you know, guys, I'm kind of just on a freestyle today, just covering the charts, keeping it quick and very simple, not really going into great details because we do this on the weekly outlooks. Aussie Yen is not the best pair. Just looking at it like this, it just doesn't make sense, right? If I delete anything and if I go to this chart this morning like that, sure, it kind of looks bullish, but no. It's just a range, right? Let's be honest, it's just a range. You can go to refine it on the hourly and try to find something, but I can see it's responding from the top right now, and the bottom is pretty flat, although it is creating, we can see it's creating like a higher lows right there. So can we have another one like this? That is definitely possible. Currently, like the Aussie and the other pairs, it is reacting from a level of demand, and it has one below it, right? So the big question is, are they going to go from here, or are they going to give a deeper pullback, or of course completely reverse? Okay, what I would like to see as well, similar to all pairs, I really like this one right now because it formed these flat lows, it took them out. So if we have some momentum introduced, retest, then I think a long could be taken. Okay, so that will be my setup. And of course, if this one fails, look for the retest, take a short towards the lower zone, right? It's all about adapting, and this is why I think trading kind of one pair allows you more freedom because, for example, if I'm looking for I'm not looking for anything on EU. I'm just adapting to what happens. If we break structure higher, I'm going to take a long. If we break lower, I'm going to take a short and potentially try to catch a trade for the session. Of course, not every day it happens, but it is what it is. NZDUSD is also super bullish. We also have some great news for, let me just check the analysis. Yeah, well, we had this supply, but the market just blew through it. So again, what I'm going to say, well, bullish, right? Avoiding the weekly, avoiding the daily. Yes, the weekly is in the pullback. Daily is right now in a potential supply zone. But what is the hourly doing? It is bullish. And as long as the hourly is bullish, then I long, right? So there is our zone. There is our 50%. Dropping onto the hourly, this one is not yet reacting from this guy. So we saw the Aussie and some other pairs are responding from a zone like this. This one is not. So is there a chance for it to pump a little bit lower, maybe to take out the Asian low and then to reverse? Well, it is possible, but it's also possible for it to go from there. We kind of have a little bit of a shift. I'm not loving the momentum, right? But let's see, right? If you're feeling risky, you can look for longs if you're trading NZD from there with confirmation. And of course, if this breaks, I'm going to be looking immediately for longs from here because this zone is below 50% and it looks good, right? And if this one fails, then we go for the next one, right? Or maybe if those two fail, then we have to acknowledge maybe that the market is turning bearish. So we might actually look for shorts. But this is my outlook for today on NZD. Super simple. NJ, probably not gonna look at this too much. It also looks bullish. It's flipping supply. Currently demand is in control. Pretty much the same kind of setup, right? We have this overall range currently at 50%. It doesn't have a clear zone right there. So the JPYs are a bit tricky. And if you're looking to trade, I would say trade Aussie USD or NZDUSD, right? It looks slightly bit bearish. So yeah, in order for this one to turn bullish, then we're gonna need to see supply fail. So we need to see a lower high broken. So we need to see this push up, right? This one doesn't have anything on the left yet. It has this big sell right there. So is it possible for the NZDs to make another leg lower? We saw it's possible for NU, could be possible for NJ, right? And then to potentially then see the shift and continuation higher. So this is something that I'm going to be looking for. UJ, let's see what this guy does. Okay, so it hasn't done much, right? So we started with a push lower, with a pullback, and we're just ranging. Well, this one, guys, is waiting the news, right? This one is waiting for something. And I do think we had also some kind of Japanese news as well. So I am personally letting this one go. I just don't know what to say about it, right? We have 50% right there. It hasn't reached it. It's kind of giving some shorts right there. Massive spike. There was some sort of news, broke lower. So I am more short biased than long biased, but this price action is just terrible. All right, it's terrible. But if you're looking to trade, then I kind of see it as a short market, although I'm not also 100% sure. So of course, I'm just gonna stick to what I do. If I see a market like this, I'm not gonna force it. I'm just gonna go to the next pair, right? Which is GU. GU is also pretty bullish, breaking through all the supplies. Again, we have a risk on perspective right now, which is good. We have this zone being reached for right now. So are we going to respond and create a full-blown reversal right there? Or are we going to continue higher? Well, this is the question, right? GU provided a nice long yesterday. It at least provided an entry, unlike EU. So what we have right now is the hourly is still bullish, but the 50-minute looks slightly bit bearish, right? It's kind of starting to change up a little bit. So we had right there, we had this break. Then you can see how the market is starting to hold from this resistance / supply level, right? So right now, what I'm curious to see if it's going to respond from there, right? If I just trigger the Asian range, we just manipulated above Asia, right? Right now we're starting to reject. So I kind of get the feeling we might get a short on this one instead, not long, because I just don't see what it's going to react from on the left, right? Of course, we also have a bullish shift right there on the 50 minutes, so you can look for longs right there. And this, of course, depends on the overall market sentiment. Right now, I find GU is very volatile as well, reacts to the market sentiment a lot. So, for example, if EU starts dropping, if there's like a risk off maybe just for the short term, this one is also going to drop, right? So this is how I look at it right now. Again, both sides, right? So right now, be open to short. It's possibly some sort of an hourly zone right there, right? But the 50-minute is currently bullish, so it will be aggressive for you to go on the 1 minute and start shorting right there, although it's definitely possible, right? If we pull back towards this zone or this one, I'm going to be interested to see if we get a shift for longs, right? If not, and if we break then you're going to get a pullback and then take a short towards the 50%, which we did not drop. Let's do it. Let's see, like this. And what is there? Well, pretty much, yeah, this big zone is the first one, right? So this is how I look at GU again, just being open. It is a little bit extended, so I think shorts could be possible, right? But I would need a little bit of more confirmation. Maybe even a slide, maybe even a little run higher towards this highs, right there could be possible. But again, let's just follow momentum. Let's see what happens. Currently, I'm just gonna stick to the buys, because if also EU pushes up, if AU pushes up, GU tends to follow up, right? So let's see what's gonna happen on this one. GJ, it's probably bullish or chopping around a little bit due to UJ. It broke the supply very nicely, so right now it is kind of bullish, but in a very weak manner. We have this demand, and then if you drop to the hourly time frame, it is a little bit sloppy, right? I hope you would agree. I don't love this price action, and oh man, I definitely don't like this one. It's all those wicks right there. And right now it's just not showing me anything. If you just frame this market as a bullish market and you just wait for the 15-minute to change bullish as well, then of course you can start going long. But is it a high quality trade? Well, this of course depends on your style. For me, it's not, because yeah, I just don't see anything nice on the left. Well, we have all of those wicks. We have this guy as well. So I do think it's possible, right? I do think it's possible that GU and GJ continue higher. If they pull back a little bit, give you a lower time frame setup, then I would say wait for it, right? Yeah, they both look kind of identical, both look kind of bullish. So I'm gonna call a bullish pound for now, right? For now. Of course, London Open is in 30 minutes and we can just plummet to the downside. So let's see what's gonna happen, right? I'm kind of excited. Okay, this one is textbook, right? So this, we took out the flat highs, right now tapping inside this supply and starting to respond. This means that the euro should be bearish, right? So euro should go down, is it? I don't know, right? I just don't understand this pair, but it looks like shorts right now as expected, like the manipulation above the flat highs. So let's see if it's gonna follow through. If it follows through, then that means that the pound is stronger, euro is weaker. So do we go short on the euro? I have a look at my other chart. EU has just provided a long trade, but it is what it is. We're gonna catch it, and maybe it's gonna go short actually. Gold is actually breaking above 1860. A lot of you code this level, so right now it's a break. So I wonder, what are you gonna do right now? So are we jumping into longs? I do think so, it's possible, because we have a break right now, a confirmed break. So we have this first 4-hourly shift, second 4-hourly shift, and even a daily shift right now. So I do think on gold, I will be looking for, I do think this one works nice in New York. I will be looking for a sharper spike to the downside, either towards this level or towards that level, and then to potentially look for a lower time frame confirmation entry to catch into some longs, right? So that is gold for me. I'm not trading it, I'm just monitoring it. We also have a little bit of a risk on the stocks as well. Some optimism is kicking in. As you can see, we have this pullback. But as I said, I told you in the weekly outlook, we can have some short-term optimism, some rally in a bearish market. So don't get too excited. Right, don't get too excited, don't get jumping into longs, because it's probably just a pullback to continue going lower. So if you start breaking below this zone right there, then definitely shorts will be in play. Nasdaq even hasn't broken above, tapped, little pullback, continuing to push lower. So I'm just shorting those things, right, until the market starts to really recover. So nothing too much to mention on this one. It's actually responding right now from this supply. I bet you're probably trading this guy in New York. So if you get a short in New York, then of course, currently just focusing on shorts and the indices might be your best bet, right? S&P as well gave us a little bit of a recovery. So right now, let's see if it's gonna continue lower, break below this level, retest, and then to potentially go towards my target, right? And Bitcoin and Ethereum, nothing too much to mention. They just keep ranging right now. A lot of uncertainties going on, so nothing much to comment on those, right? So I'm gonna wrap it up here to keep it again short, simple, get to the chart, so you also have time to prepare, to watch the video, and then start striking. So currently DXY seems to be failing. We got that quick little spike into the highs, right, which looks like EU right now provided a little long opportunity. It didn't quite tap into the zone, and right now it's kind of creating this reversal right now. So this can be potentially a long entry right there. So let's see what happens, right? Let's see what happens. Again, I would love to see this one go lower to take a long, but I'm also open to start longing from there, shorting from there as well. Of course, with good confirmation, with good lower time frame confluences as well, and all the rules that you have. And GU is also kind of tricky. I'm gonna call longs for right now, but of course I also do expect this one to be a manipulation of Asian high and then just to plummet to the downside. So that is also possible. And AU, I'm gonna stick to longs right now as long as we remain kind of above this demand right there. We kind of ticked 50% right here. We also shifted on the 50-minute, so I'm kind of confident we might actually get a long trade on this one, right? And of course, this means that the DXY goes short, we attack the low and travel towards a 101.80. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed this analysis. Hopefully you got something from it. Hopefully your charts are right now prepared. I wish you a crushing week, and again, just make sure to follow your plan. Make sure to have a plan in place and just follow it, right? Because that is what trading is all about. Not every day is a trading day, not every week is a trading week, not everyone is going to be a profitable one. What you just have to make sure is to strike on your setups, be there and execute flawlessly with strict risk management. Okay, I'm tuning out, guys, and talk to you on my next video.